Before Olympus towered over the earth, before Zeus hurled his thunderbolts, there was only emptiness, a void so vast, so silent, that it swallowed sound and sight alike. From that nothingness, something ancient and eternal stirred. Erebus, the very embodiment of darkness itself. But Erebus was not merely the shadow cast by the absence of light. He was the darkness before light was even conceived. The first veil drawn across existence, older than the gods, older than time. In the beginning, there was only chaos, the yawning chasm of unformed reality. From chaos, the cosmos took its first breath, and in that breath were born Nyx, the night, and her twin, Erebus, the darkness between worlds. Some ancient sources, like the poet Hesiod, tell us that Erebus came not only from chaos, but also with the secret hand of another force. Eros, the primordial love, a reminder that even the deepest darkness requires desire to come into being. Erebus was a primordial god of darkness. He did not sit upon a throne. He did not wield weapons. He was the darkness itself, the very fabric of shadow and silence. From the embrace of Erebus and his sister Nyx were born powerful children, Ether, light, and Hemera, day. For even in the heart of darkness, light was born. But their lineage did not end there. The poets tell us that their union also gave rise to the darker forces of existence. Hypnos, the god of sleep. Thanatos, the god of death. Moros, doom. Nemesis, vengeance. And even the cruel, silent shadows of toil, misery, fraud, and fate. The Romans would later say that Erebus and Nyx were the parents of the daimons, not demons in the Christian sense, but personifications of all the inescapable forces of life: love, death, old age, envy, discord, and suffering. Every whisper of dread, every nightmare, every pang of inevitable loss. They traced their lineage back to Erebus. But Erebus was not only a god. As stories evolved, so too did his form. In the epics of Homer, Erebus became a place, the dark passage that souls traverse on their way to the underworld. It was Erebus the place, not Hades, that Odysseus crossed to speak to the dead. A misty, sorrowful frontier, the veil between breath and oblivion. In some myths, Erebus was also where the defeated Titans were exiled, where Zeus hurled the proud and rebellious, where the mighty Menoetius fell, struck by divine thunder, and cast into the abyss. Hesiod describes Erebus as the very heart of the underworld, the shadowed depths where the thrones of Hades and Persephone rested, where the cave of Scylla yawned, and where heroes like Heracles descended to confront their darkest trials. For some later writers, even beyond Greek myth, Erebus took on a Catholic twist, a realm of purgation, a place where souls were cleansed in darkness before moving to the afterlife. Erebus was not hell. It was not punishment. It was the threshold, the gray silence between all things. And yet, as time marched forward, Erebus faded. Unlike Zeus, who reigned from Olympus, or Hades, who ruled below, Erebus was not celebrated in temples. No great statues bore his likeness. He was spoken of only in whispers, a shadow so fundamental, so inescapable, that mortals forgot to name it. But poets and philosophers never forgot. The playwright Aristophanes imagined that in the infinite depths of Erebus, night laid a cosmic egg, and from it hatched Eros, the force of love and creation. A beautiful irony, that from the deepest darkness, life and love themselves emerged. The Orphic traditions, secretive and mystical, spoke of Erebus as the sibling of chaos and ether, born from the flow of Chronos, time itself. A reminder that darkness is not an enemy, but a necessity. A primal element from which even gods spring. Though forgotten by most, the shadow of Erebus stretches across the ages. His name lingers in language, carried in the word Erebus itself, meaning deep darkness or shadow. It echoes in art, in poetry, and even in places you wouldn't expect. A volcano, discovered in the frozen expanse of Antarctica, bears his name. Mount Erebus, its fires burning beneath an endless night of ice. And in modern fantasy and science fiction, from literature to tabletop games, the name Erebus resurfaces, a whispered nod to the primordial darkness from which all things were born. In worlds like Warhammer, The name adorns characters who thrive in shadow and deceit, though few remember the ancient god behind the name. But Erebus is not a villain. He is not a monster lurking in the void. He is the darkness that cradled the first light, the shadow that shaped the cosmos. The story of Erebus is not a tale of heroes or battles. It is the quiet, eternal truth that darkness and light cannot exist without one another. He is the space between stars, the hush before dawn, the veil behind which all mysteries hide. When mortals feared the dark, they did not know they feared Erebus. For it is not darkness that destroys, but our fear of what it conceals. So the next time you stare into the night and feel the weight of the void pressing in, remember, you are walking the threshold of Erebus. You are standing at the place where all stories begin. If this tale of darkness stirred something within you, tell us in the comments. What do you think of Erebus, the primordial god of darkness? Should we bring to light more forgotten deities and shadows of myth? And if you're curious to learn more about the forces born of Erebus, watch our story on Nyx, the night herself. For every god of light owes something to the shadows that came before.